Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called How to Make a Quick $50,000 During the Pandemic. Now, a lot of people are staying home during this pandemic and their incomes have been affected. And so they're looking for ways to supplement their income. Well, we've come up with some really interesting ways to make that possible. Before I begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as to tell you that the show itself is sponsored by Hollywood is Calling. It is a company which allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase calls for between $19.95 and $29.95. And it's a great gift idea for yourself or for someone you know. So give it a try. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's begin. Are you sitting at home and watching your income decline because of the pandemic? Would you like to increase your income in some really interesting ways during this time period? We've got some suggestions for you that allow you to take advantage of the enormous pent-up demand out there for certain products and services. And so we're going to show you how some other people are making money during this time. And as you know, there's a huge demand out there for face masks. If you have a sewing machine or you know some people who do, there is an enormous worldwide demand for masks at this point, and you may wish to take advantage of that, especially given the fact that a lot of stores are out of stock and you can't really buy masks anywhere at this point. That's because the government is prioritizing face masks production and sales for medical workers and first responders. So that's where a lot of the shipments are going right now. But that doesn't mean the public doesn't need masks also. And because of that, there are some things you can do. I recently saw the CEO of Etsy discussing the enormous demand for face masks out there and how many of the craftspeople on Etsy are now sewing them and selling them on Etsy itself. What's interesting is that if you go to Etsy and eBay and you check out the prices that many people are charging for their homemade face masks, you'll see that a lot of them are charging a premium. So if you do decide to start making masks and selling them, then I suspect that you too could start charging a premium for rush orders or for priority orders, as long as you don't get crazy with your pricing. Don't start charging prices that will either cause no one to buy from you or will generate a lot of ill will. You want to generate clients that will continue to buy from you over and over. So before you start selling, just go to Etsy and eBay and some of the other sources and just review what kind of pricing is being offered for their masks, and then price yours accordingly. Now, what if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't know how to sew? Well, if I were you, I would find a group of people who do have sewing machines and who love to sew, and I would strike up deals with them. The next thing that I would do is I would start approaching hospitals, police departments, and other agencies with samples of your product and negotiate deals with them also. You're probably not going to compete with a lot of the major companies, but a lot of the major companies can't keep up with demand. So you may be able to negotiate prices with companies and organizations, who can't get a deal right now. There are also a lot of doctors and dentists and hospitals and clinics out there who also need masks, and they can't secure them as well. So that's another opportunity for you. I think the key is to arrange these deals with 6 or 12-month contracts so that you can continue to get paid monthly and keep shipping them product over the next 6 to 12 months so as to maintain that relationship. That would provide you with an ongoing income stream, and it would provide these organizations with masks at a time when obtaining a mask on the open market is getting exceedingly difficult. Another thing you may wish to do is to approach the various school systems and try to do deals with the schools, with the students, and the parents for masks. I think it's only a matter of time before some mega corporations start setting up mask vending machines all over the place, but that'll take them some time, maybe 12 to 18 months before they're clever enough to do that. In the meantime, you can move in quickly and you can fill some of this demand with well-placed and well-manufactured products. I also think you should consider pursuing contracts with local restaurant franchises and retailers. A lot of these places need masks for their employees, and they just can't find them. Regardless of who you do business with and sell masks to, remember to notify them in writing that your masks are not medical grade. They're not N95s. They're just simple cloth masks. So make sure you disclose that. And also make your masks of a quality that is adequate enough for reusability and washability. That's a very important selling feature. Now, as soon as the malls open back up again, I believe that anybody who's quick enough to set up kiosks and booths and even just tables at the malls to sell masks is probably going to make a few $1,000,000 a year doing this, because everybody who goes to a mall and forgets their mask or doesn't have a mask is going to want to grab one before they spend 3 hours walking around the mall. I also think that street vendors could easily sell masks on street corners and also in front of large sporting venues. In fact, if you can, try and negotiate a deal with the various sports teams in your areas to sew masks with the sports team's logo on it, and that way you can get an exclusive arrangement with the stadium, and you pay them a small royalty, and everyone does better because of it. I'm guessing that if people are willing to pay $5 for a hot dog at their favorite game, then they'll easily spend $6 to $9 for a mask just to prevent somebody from sneezing or coughing on them. If you have more substantial resources and you own a clothing manufacturing business, then you may want to start sewing personal protection equipment for hospital workers and doing deals with them. Now, another service that I think would do well is a grocery delivery service for senior citizens. We're noticing that a lot of the big grocery store chains, even though they may be offering delivery services or pickup services, they're not able to fulfill the demand. A lot of these places, if you place an order today, it takes a week or two to get that food to be available for pickup at the store or to get it delivered to your home. You may want to throw up a quick website and do a deal with some of these restaurants or smaller convenience stores and offer to deliver their products in exchange for a fee. You can charge the store a fee, and you can charge the customer a delivery fee. A lot of people still have their kids at home because they cannot find a babysitter or a daycare center, or maybe they just can't afford the high prices. I believe that if you were to set up a babysitting service, or maybe a babysitting booking app at this time, then I think that that you could provide a great service and do quite well at it. The next opportunity is with lawn care. Some of the poorly run and poorly managed states out there are actually prohibiting homeowners from having their lawn cut by someone else at this point in time. Eventually, these stay-at-home orders will be lifted, and then there will be a lot of demand out there for lawn mowing services by people who can no longer cut their lawns because their lawns are 12 or 18 inches tall. So I think you could easily, if you had a commercial mowing machine, you could easily mow these people's 12 or 18-inch lawns for 75 or $100 a pop. So having said that, I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish you well, and we will talk to you soon.